All right, good morning. I've been absent for a couple of weeks due to busy inactivity, busy other stuff, inactive wood cutting, etc. And I got the local ordinance was passed to where I can't go cut more wood until I clean up the wood that I've got here. So I decided it was time to start cleaning up this hackberry that we had cut down in October, middle of May now. Shame on me in general for not having this all rigged up and ready to go, but one thing drives out another, as they say. And hackberry is one of those woods, if you can see that very well, but when it's fresh cut, it's really bright, almost white blonde, and then as it ages, it goes gray really fast. And it's a great bonfire, fireplace, campfire wood. It's not the best stove wood just because it doesn't coal super well, but it doesn't take long to season. In fact, if you over season it, it turns punky really quick. And once it's been cut, and if it stays on the ground like this has, it starts turning gray deep. Instead of, wood will get sun bleached, and when it does, it turns black or gray as microbes grow on the cut surface or on the split surface. Well, this stuff changes deep into the wood before you cut it into rounds. Yeah, so this round has been exposed for 6 months. This one 2 days, but you can still see the darkness there. Now, that does not mean that this is now worthless firewood. It has nothing to do with that. Now, you keep letting it go, and it will. But in hackberry's case, it's just a little premature season on it. If you leave hackberry in a round like this, or a small one, on the ground, it will over season and turn punky by the end of the summer. Well, I'm catching this just at the right time. I've got a few big logs here that I'm gonna have to work through, including this big stump right here that I started on earlier. But that will go south quick. The flatter side. Like with everything else, this stuff splits better the bigger it is, typically. And I'm wearing gloves. I mean, you can call them gloves, they're pretty rough shape. But this bark on this stuff is really scratchy, and I don't like to wear gloves when I'm splitting dry wood. Keep my hands in pretty good working condition, but hackberry is an exception. Especially if there's a little dew around, like there is now. Pretty dry air though for this time of year. Yeah, this will make great firewood, whether I use it or sell it. You can split it into bigger pieces, or you can split it down into kindling size. It makes great kindling. It burns good and hot, just burns kind of fast. So I don't really like using it so much for the stove. for all night pieces, but I will happily, if I'm sitting by the stove reading a book or watching a movie or something, bring an armload of hackberry and burn that for a few hours. Easy peasy. There's a huge knot, vertical knot this way, so that goes the length of this round, spraying out all that grain. Whereas this would make a good one to go right down the middle like I tried. Have to chip off the side of it, take what we can. I was worried that I had become too lazy and it was going to be too rotten because some of these have sat on the ground. But there's been that deep grain change in here, but that's still there's nothing rotten there. That's just be called spalting. If you're a wood turner, it's spalted with the fungus that's beginning to grow through it, but it hadn't hit the stage where we're losing any BTUs. Some woods you can leave in the log for a while. Cherry you can leave for years. The sapwood, the bark will come off. Oak's the same, walnut, but maple, beech, hackberry, that'll rot to the core. And like I said earlier, this stuff seasons fast around here where I'm from, which is the mid-south, Tennessee. Hackberry's a 6-month wood, and I don't even know if it takes that long. It probably depends on when it's cut. This was cut in October. We had just gone through the biggest drought since the mid-80s, like 84, I think. And it had rained, but all the trees were really settling in for winter. So I think this is probably as dry as it could be when it was cut. As dry as it could be green when it was cut. I don't know if we're gonna get any more of that or not. And right now, I mean, that's a big chunk. You can feel a little moisture, but in a pinch, that would definitely burn better than, you know, an oak piece that was just split out. Actually, I've got some red oak that I've been splitting on. I did videos on it. Big, huge rounds that have been down. The tree had been down for over a year. Leave that. Before I cut it up. And it's just as wet as it can be. And it sat through a lot of that dry heat cutting rounds. I like an old hackberry tree. We've got a few. Everybody around here's got a few hackberries. I hated to cut this one down, but it had a bunch of big dead spots right where the canopy was growing out of the trunk. Right in the middle of the backyard. So we decided to control its fall instead of let wind come through and knock it down. So this piece has been cut a while. It's losing some of that integrity, I guess. It'll go. Nothing wrong with that, never mind. Nothing wrong. If I can get any more off of this or not, but I'll try a couple more times. In the fall, when people say, I need firewood, I always ask, well, how are you going to burn it? Backyard pit, stove, fireplace? I just do that so that I know what to sell them. And it's not me trying to trick them. It's just 9 times out of 10, if you got the fire going in the backyard with the kids, you're out there maybe an hour total. Dad goes out there and starts it. Kids come out there, they get their s'more and they're all done. So you don't want something that's gonna burn and burn and burn all night. Hackberry. Perfect. Burns up, doesn't burn long. Easy as it get going. It burns hot enough. It may be the perfect quick fire hardwood. Doesn't, and the other thing about hackberry that I think is kind of neat is it's the least scented firewood, at least where I'm from. You can smell, I can smell it right now. It's got an unmistakable hackberry smell. It's very faint, very woody. I get really into those senses when I'm cutting wood. You know, oak's got that really strong smell. Walnut's got that earthy smell. Cherry smells sweet. Hackberry's pretty vanilla. And I don't mean like the flavor vanilla. I mean, it's pretty plain. And when you burn it, I mean, you get a little smoke, but not a lot. I like these rounds where this is part of what, while we cut it down, big fat rotten spot in this huge, I mean, this limb was 3 of these logs and then some, 25 feet up in the air. And this is where it was growing out of the tree, the core. But the good thing about pieces like this is they split really easy for a big piece because the tension's broken. This one's got a big funky knot on it over here. We'll go around that. Now this is definitely, like I said, this is not the best stove wood, and so I will take it down to basic firewood level billets. I never leave it too big unless I just can't split it. These are all going to be great. So, I mean, look at that. Stacked so good. There's a big knot, like I said. Oh, look. One down there, too. Formation one. Growing. Right down over the top of it. I don't really like using these types of mauls and axes with the plastic handles, fiberglass, whatever. But I'm trying to get a semblance of a workout here, and it's a lot heavier than this other one. Got a hitchhiker in here. I know, if I had on pants, proper safety attire, kind of stuff wouldn't happen. But my workout clothes, man. I'm at the gym, bro. Okay. There it is. Oh yes, this is all coming apart. One thing about these hackberries is even when you've got a crotchety knot like that, if there's any kind of rot or sickness, like even these big ones, sometimes they'll just split along that seam where those two are growing together. It makes what would otherwise be a hard piece to deal with. Perfect. Another piece. So I figure I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 logs. This big giant round that which is actually a conveyance of 4 different main cannon, all these logs coming out of the main trunk. And then I got the stump over there. So this will be about a cord, I guess, maybe a little more of hackberry that I'm gonna get split up in the next week or so, as long as I don't get rained out. And it'll be ready for this fall. That's gonna be a nice boon. Last year, I didn't cut as much, changed jobs, just got busy. Last season, I guess I should say. I had to turn away a bunch of people. I've already had people hit me up for this year, and I'm gonna be able to provide. And most of the time it is for the campfire or the fireplace inside. And I'll have no shame giving them 3/4 hackberry with an arm load or two of red oak, maple, stuff like that that's harder. So if you are one of my customers, fall 23, you're gonna get some hackberry cuds. Ain't no doubt about it. I got this tiny little wood stove in my shop. I will use some of these little pieces in too. Not so good with the left. That's good enough on that one. Let's go left on this one. Not too bad. All right, I got one more decent round back here in this thing. I don't know if I got batteries left. I didn't have a lot when I started, so I may be talking to myself. Which I'm pretty sure is what my neighbors think I do anyway. All right, I'm gonna go full left on this one. I'm not left-handed. My form is a little more awkward. And I think this stuff would probably be ready by the 4th of July. All right, pretty good left on that one. Oof. I don't know about this one now. Double crotch on the bottom. A really seasoned end on top. That means it's not going to be good. I feel like I should have ended on that better note. Well, I don't want to hide the truth. This is real. We're going to go to the right again. Oh, we're going to make it. These are reinforced toe boots though, so my toes are very protected. My shins not so much, I guess. I usually wear pants when I'm doing this, but I never wear shorts when I have chainsaw anymore, or chacos. have to separate this. Perfect piece right there. It should come off. Crotch down at the bottom. We could shave a little bit of that too. Well, I gotta cut some more with the chainsaw now. All right, hackberry. Again. It did have batteries. Okay, cool. Oh, you want a quick tour of the woodlot? I'll do that real quick. I didn't realize I had batteries left, but black locust log pile I got to get to. Here's what I've cut since, or what I've split since March. Not that much. Got some lumber stuff I got to clean up. Some under there, but here's most of between now and March, or March and now. Uh-oh. And then started on a new run there. I keep these rows right here, a pickup truck apart, but I can stack this one closer because I can pull on that side. That's what was my thinking. I don't know, whatever. This has worked. But this stuff's all been, for the most part, except for some of the stuff on top, you can see the kind of browner looking pieces or the cherry. It's a little fresh, but most of this is oak that's been cut since at least October. Well, the oak's been cut for over a year, but there's some maple that was from October. These are all double stacks, but I leave the middle pretty much open just for airflow and sunshine. I used to fill that up to keep weeds and stuff out. I don't know. Now, I also stack these to where they're running north and south. I used to have them east and west, but I really like the way the sun comes up over there. And then shines on both sides for almost the same amount of time. My neighbors have some woods here, so that kind of blocks some afternoon sun, but I think it does the job. I never have any wet wood when it's really time to burn. Got some black locusts here. This stuff's been here for like 4 years. I keep saving it for a rainy day. It was 1 degree here last year. I probably should have burned it then, but I forgot about it. But that'll keep for a long time. And I really think what I'm going to do is, once I get that new pallet filled up, I'm going to come over here and put some of that hackberry on this stuff, since it'll season in time. This is a pretty low stack, about 3.5, 4 feet. That over there is about 5 feet. So I could go up a little more. I don't like going too high because even though I am expert at stacking, You know, sometimes they fall over, and if I got 6 feet that fell over, that's more I got to pick up than 4 feet. Plus, if 4 feet falls over on my kid, then maybe they won't hate me too bad. But if 6 feet fell out, all right, from right here over, this is all pretty much this year. Oh, this is from March too. Forgot about that. If you've watched any of my videos, then you've seen me split most of this wood since I started the channel. Okay, there's the woodlot. Later.